Something you always gotta love is the day a new console is released. Guys, welcome back to the channel. It's been a minute since we've unboxed something here on this channel, and today is a special day. Today, we have the Nintendo Switch 2. Very excited to unbox this. Been really looking forward to what the Switch 2 has to offer. I have my OLED model right here. I have my Nintendo Switch Lite right here. We're gonna be comparing them with the Nintendo Switch 2. I did go ahead and pick up the Mario Kart World bundle because honestly, that was the only reason I would get the Mario Kart World game. I was not gonna pay $80 separate. If you guys bought it with the bundle, you're technically paying for the game 50 bucks. So that's a good deal. Definitely do think this game should have been 60 bucks, not worth 80 in my opinion. So went ahead and got the bundle. So we're gonna be unboxing this. If you guys like this video, make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. We're on our way to 9K subscribers. Every like and comment on this video does help out with the algorithm. We do appreciate it. Let me know in the comments down below. Are you guys planning to pick up a Nintendo Switch 2 or are you guys gonna wait later down the line? Let me know. All right, here we are. This is the box. So shout out to actual Best Buy. They actually had a good launch night. They had a good amount of consoles available, thankfully. So that was the only reason why we were able to pick one up. So this is the front of the box right here. Of course, you have the big Nintendo Switch 2 logo right there. The console itself here in the front. Mario Kart World right here with a full game digital download. Digital. I really wish they would include a physical copy in here because I love collecting physical games. But it is what it is. Again, I paid 50 bucks for the game, better than paying 80. Moving it over to the side, we have another nice little beautiful shot of two people with the Joy-Cons playing split screen right there. Pretty cool, nothing crazy. We'll go over to the back and check out the nicely detailed Nintendo Switch 2 in all its glory, looking really sleek. The dock as well, nothing crazy. We have the Mario Kart World imaging everywhere in this box, and then to the other side, we have one more final shot of someone holding the sleek looking Nintendo Switch 2. Damn, that thing looks beautiful. So yeah, that's the outside of the box. Let's go ahead and crack it open and see this thing for all its glory, shall we? So we can just lift this tab up, boom, and then if you actually flip it, let me do that again. Flip it this way up. Got my whole console coming out. We want a disaster happening right off the rip. So opening the box, of course, we are greeted with the meat and potatoes off the rip. That is the huge 7.9 screen. So we'll set that off to the side. The Joy-Cons themselves, which are magnetic, so they are not with rail no more. Did like that whole clicking the rail and having the switch sound pop up, but we're gonna see how the magnets work. So we'll set that off to the side. So inside here we have some manuals. Nothing crazy. We set that off to the side. Our HDMI cable, definitely gonna need that. We have both in the blue and the coral. I guess the color you can say. It looks like a coral. Wrist straps, so nothing crazy. We'll set these off to the side. We have our Nintendo Switch Joy-Con grip controller right here. Looking more sleek than the other one. I do plan to get the Pro controller for this console, but I'll get that later down the line. I love my Zelda Tears of the Kingdom Pro controller right now that I did pick up when Tears of the Kingdom did initially release. We have a little power brick. This thing is nice and beefy with the Nintendo Switch packaging right there, or logo I should say. The USB-C port right here to connect it to charging for the dock. You gotta love that USB-C, baby. And it is some thick cable, so it should be of good quality. Shouldn't be too scared of them ripping on you easily or anything like that. And then we have the dock itself. Look at that. Nice and sleek compared to the other dock with the rounded edges. This thing can support up to 4K 120 hertz, which is crazy. Who would have thought that we would have been getting a Nintendo Switch console eventually performing 4K? That is docked though. Unfortunately, playing it in handheld does only go up to 1080p 120 hertz. Hopefully with the reiteration of the Switch 2, we can at least get 1440p on handheld, but We'll see. We have our USB ports. We have 2 of them back here. We have some cooling fans in the bottom, of course, since this is going to be putting out more power. You do need some ventilation going through the system, so that's pretty cool. HDMI right there. So I do like this nice sleek looking dock. So we'll set that off to the side. I don't see my code in here for Mario Kart, because I do know that my brother did get a digital download code and I don't see it. Hopefully they didn't steal it from my box, or full game download says right here. So I don't know how that's gonna work. Maybe I have to boot it up. We'll see. Hopefully I didn't get robbed for it. But let's set that off to the side and bring out the meat and potatoes for this unboxing. And that is, of course, the Nintendo Switch 2. So let's take out the Joy-Cons. Look at that. These things look sleek, man. And that nice flat black. Nice little click. You have the buttons here on the side so you can actually let go of the magnets, which we'll test out right now in a couple minutes. You have the home button. You have the new chat button right there. So pretty cool. Let's put that down. I do have some screen protectors coming. They're not here yet, so I better be careful on how we handle this beauty. Look at that. Sleek, man. In the bottom, USB-C ports. And then, of course, they did add one on top as well. So that's a really cool quality of life little update. We have the cartridge card right here, the volume and power buttons top right there. So pretty cool. And we do have that updated kickstand as well. So look at that. Damn, right there. Boom. Cool. Now let's actually attach these Joy-Cons. And you hear that. Boom. You do get a cool little click still. Boom. So I do want to see if they actually do make the noise when we turn on the Nintendo Switch 2, which we're actually going to power on right now and see how everything looks. Man, look at this thing. Seeing it in person, holding it in your hands, you can definitely see how big the screen is, how much more sleek the console is. You guys hear that? Nice. This does support HDR, which is cool. No OLED on this screen, but I mean, I did hear that the battery on the Nintendo Switch 2 is way less than the previous models. I mean, having HDR 10 and output of 120 hertz, I guess it is going to be battery consuming. Let's go ahead and hit our stuff here. Next. No internet. So I guess I can do this right now. Give me 1 minute. So we're getting to detach the Joy-Cons. So let's go ahead and boom. Are we actually going to get a sound? We'll have to detach the other one as well. Of course, again, there is the button back here. And just like that. We're going to do that later. Skip that for now. So can we actually put this back on? So we do get a different sound. We don't get the old traditional Nintendo Switch. We'll try it out when we're in the actual home menu. Right now we're just updating our console. There was a day one update, I believe, so it can actually support backwards compatible with other Nintendo Switch games, because I did hear people were getting their consoles earlier and they were not able to play old or original Nintendo Switch games, and that's what this update is for. So yeah, I'm very excited to jump in to Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet with their new 60 FPS updates. Whew, that Zelda Tears of the Kingdom at 60 FPS, that's gonna be real nice, man. All right, y'all. Went ahead and transferred over my data from my old Nintendo Switch to my OLED, to my Nintendo Switch 2. So here we are, setup complete. Nice. Nice. Boom, there it is. Our games are now being downloaded, our apps, Pokemon Violet, Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. We got that nice intro, little animation. Love it. We are in. We are in. Let me unplug it from its charger. And there it goes, downloading all the updates and games that we had in our previous Nintendo Switch. Now all downloading right here. The Nintendo Switch 2 is a 256 gigabyte. So from, I believe the original OLED had 64 gigabytes or 32. I think it was 32 to a whopping 256 gigabytes. That should hold you, of course, with the Switch 2 being more powerful. You are going to get heavier games like Cyberpunk 2077, a bunch of other stuff. So eventually 256 gigabytes will catch up to you. But yeah, 256 gigabytes is pretty crazy. Let's go to the eShop. I believe the eShop should be way faster compared to the original. All right, we're in. So there it is. Mario Kart World can be downloaded to this system. Successfully loaded. Cool little animation. There it is. Mario Kart World is downloading. So that's reassuring. I was thinking they probably stole my digital code from the box. So let's go back into the eShop. I do like the clean UI that the Switch 2 does have. Nintendo, you better give us themes soon, man. All right, what do we have here? So look at that. Look how fast it actually loads the eShop. Kind of instant recent releases. You want to see a game? Click on it. Bam. Load everything up. The downloadable content, how much the game is. Back out. You want to go look at other games? Load it up. Yo, very responsive. Much better than the original Switch. I love that. So let's set the Nintendo Switch 2 to the side here and compare. This is the OLED model right here. So let's bring that down. This is the OLED model right here. So you guys can see the size difference. Look at that. There's a little bit of a difference there. And then, of course, the Nintendo Switch Lites. We compare to the Nintendo Switch Lite. Even bigger, man. That is crazy. Let me actually lift this up to the side so you guys can see, hopefully, a better comparison from the OLED model to the Nintendo Switch 2. Pretty insane, man. Pretty insane. Nintendo Switch 2 looks super sleek. I love the design. Simple. I do like that you guys see the colors. It'd be cool if these things actually glowed at night. They had like some RGB. Of course, I know that would definitely drain the battery more. Maybe in the future. In the future, we'll probably get something like that. But just a little nitpick of mine. But overall, love the design of the Nintendo Switch 2. It's clean. It's sleek. It's big. It's definitely an upgrade from the previous model. And I'm very excited to see what else comes our way in terms of games. Very excited for the new Pokemon Legends ZA coming later this year and whatever else we get. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this unboxing for the Nintendo Switch 2. It's been a while since I did an unboxing video, so hopefully I wasn't too sloppy. If you guys like this video, make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Again, we're well on our way to 9K subscribers. Every like and comment on this video does help out with the algorithm. If you guys picked up a Nintendo Switch 2, what is the first game you are playing on your console? And until the next one, I'll catch you guys later. Peace out. Yeah.